really quick. Good? Okay, perfect. What I was saying regarding the tanks in the different cities, the tanks in New York, the tanks in Ohio, the tanks in LA, the tanks that are being brought into the inner cities. What the government is saying is that these tanks are going to be used with the National Guard to help in them assisting with crowd control and to maintain peace and order as they organize to handle the coronavirus as people are getting checked. Certain Walmarts are being set up as check centers for National Guard to check people regarding whether or not they took vaccines. Someone asked, are you going to take the vaccine? I don't think you've been following my page that long if you were to ask me such a question. Somebody help them with the answer to that. Is Rizzaislam going to take the vaccine? All right. Somebody help them with the answer to that question. The tanks that they are having are in addition to tanks that are already in the majority of these main or major cities that you see in America. Every major city has tanks. Every major city has vehicles. Every major city has military weapons. They have stockpiles of weaponry in every major city. You need to know that. Thank you for answering that question for them. Every major city. So for those who are becoming nervous when you see these tanks, for those who are becoming nervous, for those who are getting nervous when they see the tanks in the inner cities, you must not know that that's something that is standard. But at the same time, this is the time where you do want to take things a little more serious, but not because of the disease, but because of what the government is doing, how they're manipulating this situation. Trust me when I say this to you. There will be vaccine checkpoints. They're going to have vaccine checkpoints all throughout the country to see whether or not you took the vaccine here or there. They're going to have vaccine checkpoints. I believe, yes, that in order for all of these children who have been pushed out of school as a result of this coronavirus situation, I believe they are going to make it mandatory that every single child must be vaccinated in order to return back to school. I also believe that they are going to make it mandatory that every adult who works in any public place, that they are going to make it mandatory for them to be vaccinated in order for them to return back to work. If you do not comply, I also believe, because this is what has been stated, that you will either go to jail or they will try to force you to take the vaccine. Now, if you have that option of going to jail or taking the vaccine, you will have to make the decision as to what you will do. I pray most of you know what I'm going to do, because I see what's going on. As I said earlier, Denmark, the country in Europe, has passed, as of last night, a mandatory vaccine law. Mandatory vaccine law. They will now vaccinate every citizen in Denmark, whether if they agree to it or not. They are using the police to assist with this. They are using their military and their local police to assist with this. Just want to make it very clear. When your government becomes afraid to the degree that this government is afraid, that everybody has it and it's airborne and anyone's going to get it, you have a government that's desperate. So I believe that they are going to make it mandatory, again, for every child to receive a vaccination in order for them to go back to school, and also make it mandatory for all adults to receive vaccinations, not only in order for them to return back to school, but in order for them to go out in the public, period. Every place that they are shutting down right now or preventing us from going to is a place that they are going to make it mandatory for you to be vaccinated in order to return to. What do I mean? You can't go to grocery stores to a degree right now. Some people still can at the moment. But even those are going to get shut down, believe it or not. You can't go to movie theaters, bowling alleys, theme parks. You can't go to parks right now. Most parks you can't go to. You can't go to church in some cities, in some states. You can't go to the mosque or the masjid. You can't go to school in certain areas. You can't go to a lot of public areas. In the Middle East, in Arabia, they have closed Mecca. I don't think y'all understand, but the pilgrimage to Mecca has been happening for centuries, hundreds of years, over 1,000 years, and even before that. For something like this to cause them to shut down the holy city of God, understand, it's not the virus, it's the government's manipulation of the fear about the virus. Because they know what the cure is, they know what to do, they know exactly how to handle this. But they are manipulating it so that it can fit their agenda. That is why I'm telling you, because of what is happening now, they are using this to do a lot of other things, making the vaccine program a reality, making vaccine checkpoints, combining this with ID 2020. First it was Healthy People 2020, then that evolved into ID 2020, which combines, oh yes, gyms too, you can't go to gyms, ID 2020, which is a combination of vaccines and RFID chips. Vaccines and RFID chips. That's not a joke. That's the main thing. That's not the joke about it. The virus is not what you necessarily need to be afraid of. You just keep your immune system strong. That's pretty much how you deal with that. But you not being able to go outside because you're going to be forced to be vaccinated, you not being able to go to school or your children, you not being able to go to work, you not being able to go to any public places anywhere, that is what you are facing now. And as a result of even that, just like they have threatened right here in LA, Mayor Eric Garcetti has threatened certain businesses who refused to close during this time. He threatened them by saying that we will turn off your water and your power if you continue to violate the stay-at-home order, which should give you a small example or small understanding as to what level of power they have when it comes to those who refuse. So if we refuse to be vaccinated, be prepared. Just be prepared, because that's coming. This is not a conspiracy theory. The vaccine mandates are coming. Making vaccines mandatory for everyone in the country is coming. If they are this afraid because they think a disease is spreading everywhere and all they have as a solution are some pills or some shots, that's what they're going to do. And the ID 2020 is a combination of the vaccines as well as the RFID chip. And that is being sponsored heavily and funded heavily through the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and Gavi, the Global Alliance for Vaccination and Immunization. I know it's pausing. I know it's pausing for most of you because, again, this is where it's going. While everybody else is going live talking about God knows what, I'm just letting you know. So get your things together. Get your family together. Stop dancing so goddamn much right now, please. I recommend you stop dancing so damn much right now. Brothers, get more masculinity. Work out and exercise more. Organize your families. Sisters, help the children, help yourself, help your family. Right now is the time to organize and start to understand exactly where things are going. It is more serious than how we're taking it. It is more serious than how we're taking it. Not the virus. I'm not talking about that. But what the government is doing is more serious than what you think. Another update I wanted to give you that I'm going to put in the video is that, yes, America has passed up every country. Supposedly, over 100,000 people are infected in America already. I don't believe that, by the way. I really don't. But that's what they say. China has now threatened America with not sending in masks, which, by the way, the majority of masks come from China. China has threatened, again, also America, with not sending over medical supplies